we were in a hard spot, but we all worked together. And that is the greatest memory I grew up with, of us building together and celebrating together. No. Ooh, that's better, right, babe?
Yeah!
Yeah. She founded an architectural concrete company.
He founded a $100 million clothing company.
She took the world by storm as a social media star.
He took the world by storm as a famous serial entrepreneur.
Together we started a business.
And had babies.
Now we're figuring out the best ways to do both.
Join us as we learn from other entrepreneurs going through the same life struggles.
As they share their life hacks about success, love, kids.
And everything in between.
A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Quote by John Maxwell. If you want to change the world, go home and love your family. Quote by Mother Teresa.
Hey, thank you guys for tuning back into the Entrepreneur Parents Pretty and Punk podcast. I'm here with my beautiful and brilliant wife,
Ildiko Ferenczi, and we just have something on our hearts today that we want to share.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. We were talking before. How do you explain this idea? But the idea is basically, how do you define success in your children's lives, in your life? What do you see for them as being successful? What are you teaching them about success? And how is it different than maybe 20 years ago, what success looked like? When you think about success back then, I think it had a different definition. I think it looked different, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we jump into that, hey guys, we hope you're enjoying today's episode of the Pretty and Punk podcast. And if you are, and you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. It just takes a second. It means so much to us because it really helps the podcast get out there to more listeners like you guys. And if you know anybody it might help and you can send it to them, we really appreciate that too.
We also love and appreciate your reviews. Even the babies look forward to them every day. If you share this episode on social media today, don't forget to tag us. We want to celebrate you because we know it's not easy being a parent in business, and the way that you juggle things makes you a superhero. That's worth a shout out. Together, we have a community of our personal followers as well, and we just want to put it out there. We want to show everybody that this juggle is possible, and you are our family, and we're so proud and grateful to have you a part of this family. So don't forget, all the links are below in the show notes, and thank you again, and let's get back to the show. So this is the picture, and let's be honest here. The last generation told us that success meant having 2 supercars in the driveway, maybe a Ferrari, maybe something else of your dreams, and a 5 to 10 bedroom house, and a big fat bank account. But what did it leave behind? It left broken marriages, broken kids, parents who thought bribery and gifts could replace the presence of themselves. And you know what we're saying in this generation? We're saying never again. And I'm not saying that you can't have success and you can't be comfortable, but I feel like we're living in a place that's more about freedom. So are you are your kids, are your children, are you raising them to chase money or to build the kingdom? And that's the most important thing, because you can't take these things with you. And I think in this generation, this time of our lives, we've seen a lot of devastating things happen. For example, the C word, a lot of people lost their lives with the things that are going on right now. And we're realizing that the time is ticking. And if you haven't realized it yet, you don't know when that day is going to be. But I feel like this generation has woken up and they're taking a look around. They're understanding they can't take these things with them. And are they truly happy? Because with social media, it also exposes those relationships and those families that may have all the things, but they're not truly happy.
Or the other. Well, I mean, I think I still think you can have both. It doesn't mean it's just that your flex, that what you're showing out there, with the true flex, isn't, I think, no longer standing in front of your cars and your mansion and your,
I think that
it's the flex is standing there with your family and building generational wealth. I mean, that's the flex.
Well,
the
and
flex
that-
is just changed.
that makes sense.
In the outlook, and you can see it in people's. And maybe we're being targeted by algorithms, but if you look at families, I think so many people that are building stuff today are building it with their family or teaching their family along the way, and I think it just makes sense. I mean, that's how you want to build together, so that you don't lose each other.
Well, that was
so
the
you don't
way
wake
it
up and they're
was.
gone.
That was the way it was before. I feel everybody got indoctrinated, where the men would go off and do their own thing, and then they would come home to an overwhelmed, tired wife. And
Well, that's still the norm. The
it's
difference,
not
though,
necessarily. I mean, look at
it's 100%.
Are
the
you
norm.
building?
If you look
it
at,
is the
if you look
norm
at
because they've been
households.
indoctrinated,
But I'm just,
right? What
I'm
about
just saying
Poppy?
that's their only choices.
No, but listen to
that's
this
their
for a
choices
second.
right
And
now. I'm just saying you can build something.
I'm getting
different.
a little like, because I know the families that are working together, that are creating together. They were the outlaws. They were the ones that didn't fit in. Yes, because it is normal. The man goes off to work. He has his work wife. They cheat. Sometimes the woman gets a little lonely. She's at home. I've seen it happen. I'm in that part of my life where I've seen it. She's pregnant. Well, whose baby is this? Because I've been too busy working. They've grown apart. They don't have the relationship. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but it happens quite a lot.
I'm saying most infidelity starts in the workplace.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's
the truth.
100%.
That's the truth.
John Deloney is the one that actually brought it up. But here's the thing. You have to build. It's a king. Are you teaching them that the kingdom life is success, or is it the money and the cars and the mansion? And I don't think you need all that stuff in excess, is what I'm saying. I had that vision too, growing up. And I think a lot of it was like, I'll show them. I thought, if I get really successful and I do really well, maybe the people that have abandoned me or left me or said bad things to me, they're going to be like, oh, now look how successful she is. I'm just being honest here, that there was a part of that, of success is your greatest revenge. And I think now, like, it's a little silly. I overworked myself, and did I really have to get that many, Burkhams and just successful? I have to reek of success. Whereas when you'd walk in a room, there was this almost like guys, they build their muscles so that other guys feel, he's got a muscle.
Guys walk into
muscles,
a room different.
a nice
When we walk
watch,
into
a
room,
nice car.
We're thinking about.
I'm better than you.
Well,
I get it. It's ego.
It's not better than you. It's better than you.
I've seen it.
It's.
Don't mess with me, because I'll stomp on you.
Well, maybe it is. I'm better than you.
I know that part of you.
We're sizing up everybody in the room when
but
we walk
I was
in.
like,
who can I?
I'm just saying,
exterminate
there was
everybody in this room if I had to.
But there was this toxic energy about me too.
I don't know if it's toxic.
And then
it's masculinity. That's how we walk in the room. That's how dudes walk in the room.
Yeah, but then there's also a learning lesson, and I feel like God humbled me in a way where I all of a sudden was told by professionals that I don't even want to put this out there, but I don't think you're going to make it. I was giving away Birkin bags. I was giving away all those expensive things because it felt like weight. And I was so angry and so emotional. I don't think you even understood a lot of the things that I was going through. I just wanted to get rid of everything. I was so mad that I overworked my body and was chasing this success that didn't mean anything. And it was before children. And all I could do was just sit there and think, that now that I have these babies, all I would want is just 2 holidays, 2 vacations a year, not to show people, look how cool I am, look how, come on, no, I just want to build the relationship with my family, a strong one. I want them to remember the roots. I want them to know what true success is, and that's the commitment to each other and the growth and the journey together. And I want them to, nothing feels better than when I walk in that door and those kids yell and I go for 30 minutes to go grab toilet paper or something or mail something off and they're, Mommy, this is true success to me. And I didn't know what it meant when I didn't have children. Of course, I wanted children, but I thought, no, when I have the kids, I'm still going to be just what is it? The grinding to success, and I'm going to have a nanny. I'm going to have a nanny because I can't do this.
I remember you telling me you're getting a nanny, and I said, no, we're not getting a nanny. And he said, we're getting a nanny.
Well,
because I got work to do. I got to build this business.
Yeah, but the energy was this, no, you're going to stay home and I'm going to go out and do great things. And and I know the women listening are like, what do you mean? Like, I've accomplished so much. I built this multi-million-dollar company. I've accomplished so much. I'm on magazine covers. I'm on interviews. I've built so much. What do you mean that I'm just going to get left behind now because I have a child and I'm pregnant? What do you mean? And it was just something that I fought with. And I know a lot of women.
I wanted you to.
No, but I know you. I know you. You don't want that full responsibility of children at that time in your life. You want to, if you were to have kids, you hang out with them for a few hours or a couple days, and then you'd want to go back to your life like they don't exist. That's what you would have wanted if we were to have kids.
That's not true. That's not true.
I just felt that vibe from you.
I was running a $100 million company.
I understand.
And I'm working. So it takes time and you have to put time and effort into it. And
that's
if
what
we're
I'm
building
saying.
something for our family,
now we
that when I come
understand
home,
the pivot. It's not like that anymore. You're not going to be, you were, what is it called? A workaholic. And so was I. We were both workaholics when we met. And that was what drove us. Success drove us. But that's not what's going to get you into the doors of heaven. Especially, we weren't, when we were talking about this stuff, we weren't married either. There is a whole different, and marriage, and this is a whole different conversation about marriage, because I don't think we really understood that become one flesh, and we're not demanding things. We're serving each other. We have to serve each other.
That I wanted.
Our children need to see
we had
that.
the money to have you at home watching the kids because I wanted the kids to be raised by somebody they love, and I was in a place where I was. Busy. I was flying all over the world.
You already
and
sold
flying
the
all over
company.
the country.
You weren't in tap out. You just had to show up at the fights. Where it was flirty. This is the whole problem what we had when we were dating.
Are you kidding me? Listen,
but here's the thing. Now that we understand,
you had no idea what I was doing.
You can bring the family, and that's what we did. We don't split up anymore. We don't split up. Number one, there's a lot of temptation for me in my business that I was running at the time when I had Daniel. I don't have that life anymore, but there's temptation. There's all kinds of things. So yes, I could go by myself. I could leave the baby with a nanny, and that's how marriages get into trouble. You can go off and you're in an environment where it's partying, you got to go to the bar, show up for events. Everybody's drunk, okay? And it's not like classy people. It's a bunch of people throwing themselves at each other because
I get it.
It's not a good environment. It's not a Christian environment. It's not a God-loving environment. It's not a I'm going to put my husband and wife. That's not all I was
doing. There was work involved too.
I understand.
And that was just part of it. That was one of the things I did.
That was the biggest part of it.
So
you had to show up at the events.
I had to go to the fights, and
go
that
to
was probably
bottles,
a couple times a week.
And you got your little buddies going, hey, let's set up this event. I'll get the bottles.
They were dragging me to these after parties.
Yeah. Well, we don't do that now that we're married.
Anyways, that was it. Yes.
So do you want success?
I agree.
Or do you want a
that
kingdom
wasn't
family?
Probably the best place to be.
I'll tell you, I would 1,000,000%, because I was flown all over the world, photo shoots, and people drink. I haven't even touched alcohol since I was pregnant with Daniel. How about that? Like, I don't miss it. I don't want it. I want to travel with my babies, and I want to build a life that they can be proud of, that they can feel like my mom was there. My dad and my mom loved each other. My dad put my mom first always. My mom put my dad first always. Every decision that was made, I always run everything by you.
I think the flex is now it's by building wealth. It's by building rentals and investments and freedom. It is. That's what it all comes down to.
When you get sick and you can't do the things you need to do, did you build up enough of a nest that you're able to take care of yourself? Or are you still chasing things? When you get sick, you don't need the Ferrari or the Rolls Royce or if one of your, God forbid, one of your children is something like, you don't need that stuff. I'm telling you, you're going to be just giving it away because you're so angry, like I did. How did I miss the mark? How did I not understand what true success was? Of course, as soon as Daniel took his first breath, I knew what I wanted, but I was still struggling. I still had to show up to the events, and I would bring Dan. I was the only one that brought my baby. And even when I was pregnant, there was this whole, I don't know if you guys remember, I mean, he's not that old, but when you were an actress or you were running a business, you had to pretend that you weren't pregnant. So you had to hide it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I have a baby. It was so crazy. Your agents, your people around you would tell you, you can't really talk about that because then you're going to lose followers, and you're going to lose
the audience.
Your audience, the agents they're not going to want to book you for movies because now you're a mom. It's like almost like a bad secret thing that you can't talk about. You can't be successful anymore.
We see all those people. Now listen, same people are all coming over to
and then there's the founder of Poppy and all these other businesses whose families are like, why? What do you mean? Why are you investing in your wife's stupid idea of bubbly water with apple cider? You're ridiculous. Go do your man things, and you go home with your children. Well, imagine if he wouldn't have listened to this stupid idea and they wouldn't have been bought out for $2 billion, not million, because I'm sure a lot of people would be happy about selling their company for a few million. I'm telling you, billion. They are billionaires now because they followed their God-given destiny, and they've changed the market where rather than you're drinking toxic poison, I don't even drink Poppy because that's not really, like, the bubbly stuff bothers me. But imagine the movement that they did for the people that would drink Coca-Cola and Diet Coca-Cola that are getting sick, literally sick, running down their immunity.
Yeah, that's like
and
poison.
She's created, she followed the God-given destiny that whispered into her ear that she said, hey, babe, I have this idea. I know it sounds crazy, but do you believe in it? Because I feel like a lot of people are going to come at us and they're going to tell us that it's a stupid idea because the people already have. But I believe in this. I've got this baby inside me, and I know if we stick to this and we're consistent, that we could do something really good and we can save a lot of lives, and we can get, help this whole diabetes problem and all the things that are going on, and give people an alternative that are maybe even fighting for their life already. Maybe they have the C word, or they're going through health issues. So anyway,
I think it's considered a prebiotic. Which
imagine it's good for you. It's got the fiber. It's got all the things that. I don't want to say it's good for you, because I'm sure we could pick it apart and find things that are wrong with it. It's better than the alternative. But it's better than the alternative. And they were doing some miracle work.
It was a great idea. In hindsight, I'm sure a lot of people look back and go, I'm sure a lot of people who said it was a stupid idea back in the day, back when they were first starting.
Don't give them a penny. Anybody that said it was stupid,
can look back and say, well, in hindsight, it was probably a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of changes to it, too. I mean, the guy who they took on from Shark
100%.
Tank convinced him to go to cans, which changed the distribution. And it's all about distribution when it comes down to it. It's about distribution.
But she had a good reason of saying, at least I can get my foot in the door and I could change a problem that's happening right now. And I can make history. My grandkids will be drinking this, and their grandkids will be drinking this. Now that it's set foot into the door that a lot of people would pray to open. So
it should
I'm just
be the
saying,
new Coke. I mean, people need to. I can't believe people are still drinking Coke and Pepsi.
No, that's garbage.
It's ridiculous.
It's garbage for your body.
Have you seen people clean their bumpers with the Coca-Cola? Like get the rust off by using Coca-Cola?
Well, I remember the experiment of the penny in the Coca-Cola, and it comes out crystal clear.
Yeah.
The next day.
Shiny copper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ketchup does that too, by the way, because we had some copper jewelry, and I was the one when I was in the jewelry store.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah.
I like ketchup.
I know. Well, we don't eat the top, but it's the acidity.
Yeah.
But.
Okay.
Before you reach for that coffee, consider this. What if the energy boost you're looking for isn't in your cup, but in your cells? I challenge you to swap your morning coffee for Shilajit by Symbiotica. And here's what can happen. No crash, no jitters, just clean, sustained energy, plus mental clarity and trace minerals that our bodies actually need, that are actually starving for, to be honest. This isn't just a supplement. It's an ancient adaptogen sourced from the Himalayas that supports mitochondrial function, stamina, and overall vitality. Your coffee never did that. Okay, let's just be honest. Try it for a week and tell me your body doesn't thank you. Symbiotica's Shilajit is next level wellness, and honestly, you may never go back to drinking coffee. Click the link below down in the bio and get your Shilajit today.
But I think that the difference is that just our outlook on what success should look like, or what the feeling that we get from success is changing. The world looks different, and the thought of you could probably explain 1,000 reasons why it's changed. The kind of a Christian revival, the idea that it's not showing. It's not as cool to say, "Hey, I got money and you're poor." It's like trying to throw it in people's faces. I think success now looks like having a farm out in the middle of nowhere where people aren't bothering you, and you don't have to sit on your phones all day long, and you're not in this hustle and bustle, and you have your kids running around, and you're out in the backyard chasing the stream down and fishing with your kids, and I mean, that's what, and being around your family and being able to enjoy your time and not have to look at your watch every 5 seconds to see if you're supposed to be on some in some meeting. I mean, that is the freedom that
Right.
you want, and that's what you should be building for.
Now, if you're working really hard, wouldn't it be more? I mean, I just feel like our kids in that last generation, they were missing out on so much. They didn't learn the business lessons.
And not that too. I should preface that by saying that we're teaching them too. We're teaching them
Exactly.
the lessons that they need to learn to be able to build what they're going to need to build or take over what you build so that they can have that same type of life.
Right. And I feel that's so heartbreaking about that because as we saw,
and not that you don't want a Ferrari. I mean, you could still own a Ferrari.
Still have a
Ferrari,
Ferrari, but
I enjoyed
are you going to want a Ferrari and you got, you
can park
four in your family?
Park it in the
I know
barn
for
there.
me, there's the, what is it? Daniel wants what's it called? Not a Ferrari truck, but he wants the, what is it?
What, the Lamborghini?
The Lamborghini truck.
Yeah, the Lamborghini truck.
He's like, and then the whole family can go. And that, I mean, I don't want to say that's a bad idea. And it's, no, if listen to me, he wants the truck. Like, listen to this mindset. He doesn't want the 2-seater where it's just him and someone. He wants the family truck so we can all be together. That's the mindset. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? I think we've done something right.
That's what we want them to be thinking is that how do you
I
build
don't want
this
him growing up or Destiny growing up. My parents were chasing money and their marriage sucked. And that's all I ever saw.
Well, the truth is
her fighting about money I got to go out and I got to do this and I got to leave the family behind. But no, we were in a hard spot. But we all worked together. And that is the greatest memory I grew up with of us building together and celebrating together. And I feel like that was the kingdom life. We would go to church, we would tithe, my mom she had such a big heart and she would give to those people in need, or she would hear of someone that didn't have there was an illness in the family, and she would cook for them. And it doesn't always have to be financial. Like, I know that a lot of us can't wait to give away 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 more. I mean, depending on what level you're on, to give that money to the charities, to give that money away. You don't have to wait till you've built that success with your family to give it away. That labor in the kitchen of making homemade healthy food, that is kindness. That is a kingdom mentality. I will never forget that. I will never go empty-handed if someone invites me for dinner or invites me to a party. My mom taught me, she said, it is so unclassy to show up with nothing in your hand. She would have my brother bring flowers, or she would bring a bottle of champagne or a nice bottle of wine that they could celebrate later, because there's cleanup and it is stressful to throw a big event. And after, here, go enjoy this with your husband when it's over, when it's done, or next year, or on your anniversary. She would always think like that. And I know that one thing that my agents and even when we would get a big job for the architectural concrete company, I would give them a beautiful gift certificate to Il Giardino. I don't know if you know what that is. If you're in Vancouver, you'll know. It's a fine dining Italian restaurant. I would give them a gift certificate to go there. Or a beautiful bottle of champagne. I would always show that I appreciate someone. And I know that that's not the charity thing, but just you don't have to wait till you have millions of dollars to be kind and to give and to show people love and to raise the needy, right?
Right.
This is kingdom mentality.
I think that families are, there's a lot of families out there that are struggling because they're broken apart and they're not, the kids are being taught by the schools and the schools and the government are not going to have the same ideas of what those kids need to be learning that we are. And I think that the new flex is actually the freedom. And I think you had it right when you said that the flex is the freedom. That's what it comes down to. And the fact that you can raise your family how you want to raise your family, that you can teach your kids what you want to teach your kids, and pass on the values, not only your values, but pass on your
Heritage
ideas and your wealth, and the idea you're going to pass on the opportunities to maybe even run a business, to take over a family business. I think that's going to come back around circle, and I think that's going to be...
It's not a new idea. If you study old money, they don't teach you that in school.
No, I just think we kind of lost it. We lost it over the last 100 years.
But old money hasn't. They're mentoring their kids. You better believe they're mentoring their kids. They're setting up their kids for success. Old money. It's why it's generational. They understand what they need to do what they need to do with the family business. Old money understands that. And it wasn't just old money that did that, but they just stuck to their guns. There was regular families that had farms, and it would stay in the family. They weren't brainwashed to run away and do all these things that have happened in the generations where things have crumbled. And that's another topic. But it's just beautiful to see what families that understand that connection and the building the wealth together and building the businesses together. I feel that's where the lesson is. That's where the clues are. And you need to surround yourself with people like that understand this, or start reading books where you can. If that's not in your generation, it's not in your community, try to become a part of that community and start reading books, listening to podcasts, listening to exposing yourself and your spouse and your children to these different ideas in these different ways, so you don't get caught.
It's not just exposing
in the crumble.
You're exposing it through what you're doing, because they're going to learn from watching, from seeing you.
They're not going
to just telling them that this is a possibility is not going to be good enough, because we all know that kids don't learn from what you tell them. They learn from what they see.
And even what you've learned. It's okay to tell them the past lessons that you've learned. I'm very open to Daniel about my chase for success. And it's so funny because he said, maybe you were trying to be really successful so that your dad would notice you and love you and maybe come back to... And this is like a secret thought I'm sure all children of divorce have, of that maybe my dad will come back and we'll have this great happy family. But that's not always an option, and some people are abandoned. But guess what? You can break the chain, and that's what I want for my family, of breaking the chain. I want my children to never have to deal with that. And if they date, to marry, and they have the conversations, and I just feel like they're not going to get caught in something that's toxic. And it was just interesting that he said that, because my eyes started watering, because I was like, you know how you mentioned a while back there that, oh, I'm rich and you're poor. It was never that. But I did want I did secretly want my dad to notice how successful I am, because maybe he'll love me. Maybe he'll notice me and want to be a part of my life. I knew, obviously, marriage is marriage. He's not going to leave his wife. That was never an idea. That was something that Daniel said with his childhood mind. And I was like, maybe if I dig deep enough, that perhaps could have been thoughts when I was a child, but I understand the covenant of marriage now. And I understand where he is. We've had this conversation that, yes, he had to honor his new marriage, and that was his priority. That was what had to happen. He's very religious. And unfortunately, I was the picture of what I never want for my children. I want them to have a strong, happy marriage that is going to be a kingdom marriage, a generational marriage. And I just want to break that's the whole point of this podcast, right? To help prevent divorce and not make it so easy and
I think that's the
there's not a
priority,
problem.
right? It's prioritizing
It's
your
not
marriage.
a problem.
The
You
idea
can
is
have a divorce.
prioritizing your marriage
It's
and knowing that you
hard.
can still
Unless
that
it's
you
abusive,
can
you
build
have
a business that prioritizes your business, that prioritizes your marriage.
Right.
And you got to redefine what wealth looks like.
That's the thing, is there's pivots. We don't live the same life anymore. We're different people. We've made pivots along the way. And as I was saying, is you can share those lessons. You don't have to hide them, pretend they never happened. You can talk to your children, because what do we pay big dollars for when we have mentors, when we have coaches? They openly share some of their most embarrassing, what people may think are mistakes, but they're lessons. Well, we can share those lessons with our children. We don't have to, we can't talk about that. Never talk about it. No, you actually very much should, because you have a journey that you have the playbook. You have the blueprint onto how you got to where you are right now in your life. And you can compare this behavior and these things in my life led me to a place that was not good. Maybe I was successful with money and stuff, but it just wasn't there was an empty part of me. I mean, you could probably say there was a time when you had money, but you were still searching for something. And now that you have a marriage and a family, and I know that people out there, because we've had this conversation, with the first breath of your baby, everything changes. Everything changes. You experience a love, and mothers, like, you experience a love that you've been chasing all your life. And there it is, right there with your baby's first breath. Like, we'll never be able to put it into words, but it may not trigger you to have a different life, but I know for myself, it sure did. And I was trying to figure out, how can I have this kingdom? I don't even know how else to explain it, but a kingdom life. And those of you that understand. That you just don't. I don't want to jump on a jet and go by myself to Maui or Saint Tropez and do a photo. If I have to do that, I want to bring my family. I'll do the job. I'll do the interview. I'll do the thing. But I want my family there, because I wouldn't be able to think about anything else while I'm on that plane. I literally, I'm in a place where, for me, that is the most fun, to be able to have a work, have my family there with me. I don't know how to explain it, but the people in our community understand. They want their family there. They want them learning. They want them, if they're speaking in front of cameras, you want your husband or your wife to sit there watching you do the interview, so that he or she can learn and that they can be a part of it. And then in a minute, you'll all be doing the interview, and also giving them the skills that they need to be able to comfortably talk in front of a camera and to negotiate with people, or order dinner, for goodness sake. Some people are shaking in their boots trying to order a tea or coffee or dinner. They're nervous. No, Mom, you order it. Remember what we did with our kids? We threw them right into the...
Yeah, we made them put out their
Do you
own
want
orders.
water?
What do you want? And make
What
them
would you like to
describe
eat
to the
tonight?
waiter exactly what they want. We wanted them having those conversations from a young age, and now Daniel's speaking on stages in front of 10,000 people.
And
I mean,
Destiny and Daniel have their podcast.
And their podcast. You know, it's like, that's how you. I mean,
I feel like
ultimately, those conversations are
This
going to
makes
make
me
him
happy.
Being able to
not
conversate
for
with people is
everyone.
going to make him successful. But I was just going to say that, you know, there's always going to be a pushback. You got to remember, you're a girl too, so. Guys,
I'm a woman.
Woman, sorry. Guys would value, would say that there's going to be somebody out there who's going to say that, well, for a little boy, having a Ferrari is like it's like something that they always aspire to. That's what made them,
Right.
you know, when they were young, they would think about, oh, one day I'm going to have a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, whatever's
Daniel,
exciting them.
and that's why I
that's
would
true.
never pop his
Yeah.
bubble. It's like, I want a Lamborghini truck so I could bring the family. I have my wife. I have you. But right now, he literally wants it right now. So mommy and daddy
Yeah, but I'm just saying that
him and Destiny.
ultimately
I
you
would
have
never
to
pop
talk to
that
somebody.
bubble.
You know, I thought that too. I thought that same thing. And when I bought my first Lamborghini, I thought it was going to fix everything. I thought it was going to make me feel like I had arrived. And the truth is, you never arrive, and it doesn't give you that feeling. And ask anybody who's ever bought one, who knows that it doesn't give you that. You have to get that gratification from something else, and I'll tell you where you normally get it from. And it's why we drive this message home, is that the gratification ultimately comes from that freedom when you're at the beach with your kids and
Yes.
you're playing with your kids in the water. Like, that is going to be the most fulfilling thing that you ever do. That when you're walking with your kids into your new home, that's going to be the most gratifying thing you ever do. It's not going to be sitting in that new Ferrari you just bought. I mean, at that moment, it may feel good for a second, but that feeling literally falls off like after 2 weeks. And
if
then it's just gone.
Yeah, and if you don't have that, and I would just say you don't even need the big house. You don't need those things, but if you have exactly what you're saying, that freedom to be with them. And I'm so grateful that every single year we took those 2 vacations. I'll never forget it. And it's exactly like when we met, I would brag about my mom took me to Paris. My mother took me to Hungary. She took me all over the world, and we would stay at the best hotels, the best restaurants. We worked our tails off together in real estate, the jewelry store, the antique shops. We worked our tails off, but I will never forget those memories. And I feel so sorry for the people that just miss that mark of its freedom, spending time and making the memories together. And we haven't been able to do all the vacations either. Some things have come up over the years. Sometimes this happens, but it makes you want it even more. It makes you hungrier. Like, I want to give my children these experiences so that they remember, so that they want it with their family. And may my children not miss some of the steps that I missed in life, or that you've missed in life, or that any of us has missed. I mean, that's the whole purpose, right? We want to teach them the lessons so they don't feel the pain that we felt, so they can avoid it. That's what we do as coaches for our community and as mentors, right? We want to help them so they don't hurt the way that we've hurt. Or if they're hurting, we'll show them how to dig up out of that hole and rise again. So yeah, though that's true freedom to me. Yes. Playing with my children, going on a vacation, going on a walk, spending dinner together, having conversations, building something amazing with them, and being a part of it all together. They're never going to forget that stuff.
So what's the takeaway? The takeaway, I think, this week is, guys, if you're listening, find some time to get away with your family. It doesn't have to be like, I know it'd be great to fly off to Saint-Tropez today, but if you can't do that, then find some time to go to a lake or go fishing or go to explore some caves or whatever. You might go out on the boat, whatever that might be with your family, and put your phone away.
Yes.
Undistracted, have a great dinner where you guys have great conversation. Everybody's talking about, ask your kids what their dreams are, what they see themselves doing in the future. Ask your wife what her dream is. Ask your husband what his dream is. Have some great conversation with your phones out of the picture, and just enjoy each other together, because that truly is real wealth.
Yeah.
That is true legacy. So if you guys can do that this week, find some time to do that this week or next week, and see what that feels like. Because you don't have to be rich in money to be wealthy. You truly don't. I've seen some of the happiest people I've ever seen in the world aren't uber rich. But it doesn't mean that if you can't aspire to be wealthy in all parts in your life. And you
Right.
should be, because money helps with lots of things. Being wealthy, having the money to deal with health issues or
Yes.
or travel or whatever you want to do in your life, wealth gives you freedom. Money gives you freedom. So, but we're talking about balance in the way that you don't want to build that wealth and then turn around and your family's gone and your life's gone and things have changed and you're the people that you thought you cared about most won't talk to you, or the people who care about you most or should care about you most won't have a conversation with you. You don't want to be left in that position.
Yeah. Practical. I want to give you guys some practical anchors, because definitely you need to be close with your wife and your babies. So here's the thing. And those of you that have a lot of money right now, but you've missed the mark, you can't buy peace with gifts. You just, it's not going to happen. You need to create it with presence. So as Dan was saying, go out and do that thing, whatever it is. You need to start being present. Put your phone down. And then first and foremost, protect your marriage first. Your wife, your husband must come first. You have to show that whatever it is, you need to protect your marriage first, because the truth is that's the foundation of your children's security. If they see you happy with your spouse, that is going to create security in your children. And I cannot wait to talk about this one, because that's going to be a really good one for another episode. And let's get your children to see prayer guide your business. This is so important. I saw it growing up. Show them that the kingdom comes before the cloud, okay? And true wealth isn't what you put in your family's hands. It's what you put in their hearts. And that's what's going to be remembered.
Thank you guys for joining us this week for this episode of the Entrepreneur Parents Pretty and Punk podcast. I know you got something great from this episode. If you can, share it with somebody who might want to hear the same message. And we can't wait to see you guys next week.
Yes, if this hit your heart, I know you want to share it. Go ahead and share it so that we can have more amazing parents like you in this community. And this
mission
is going to change lives when we start saying the things that we're thinking and understand that there are people that want to create their best life, their best marriages. This is a place for you guys and your friends and the people that you know need this message to hit the core. God bless you guys, and we'll see you soon.
It was such a joy for you to join us today. I bet you got so many gold nuggets. Don't forget to subscribe and share it with someone you love. And don't forget to leave those golden stars. It really helps the message get to someone who really needs it. God bless, and we'll see you next week. I appreciate you joining us today. I know this episode brought you so much value. So go and share with someone you care about. It will change their life just like it changed yours. Love your family. Kiss your wife. Eat your broccoli sprouts. Say your prayers. Have a great week. And we're excited to see you soon. God bless.